Hello YouTube. I mainly buy 80s toys because that's when I was a kid in the 80s. So I'm mainly buying back figures that I used to own. But I also buy a few 90s figures. And I came across these recently. These are Street Sharks. And I just thought they look awesome. So I've bought myself some. This guy is called Pool Shark Ripster. He's probably my favourite actually, with his little leather jacket on there. He comes with some accessories like a pool cue, which I haven't got yet, and he comes with like a little bomb or two as well. This next guy is called Slamu. He's actually called Slugger Slamu because he is the version with the boxing gloves. He also comes with a gum shield, which I haven't got yet, but I actually think he looks better without the gum shield anyway. And the gum shield costs quite a lot of money, so I might just not bother buying it. This next guy is called Rocks, and as you can see, he's got actual kind of long hair. And I bought the guitar for him because I thought he would look a bit strange without his guitar. He also comes with like a microphone, like a little microphone stand, which I might buy at some point. But again, I don't think he particularly needs it, so I could save myself some money by not buying that. This next guy is called Streaks, and this is the metallic version of Streaks. So each of these, there are like probably three or more versions of each one. But I just tried to buy the one that I like best of each figure. And this one I thought looked particularly cool with his kind of metallic colour scheme and his little roller boots. I thought he looks pretty awesome, so I went for that one. This next guy is called Jab Hammerhead, and this again, this is the silver metallic version one. There is another one from series one which is a bit plainer, but again, I just have chosen the one that I like of each figure. You could buy dozens and dozens of these figures, like, and try and get all the variations, but I'm just buying the one that I like. This next one is called Slash, and this is the drilling action Slash, and I'll show you the action later on. I'll show you basically all of the different actions that each one does. This guy's called Moby Lick, like a killer whale. He's pretty cool. He's actually one of the figures that sort of drew me to this line in the first place. I was just looking at figures generally on eBay, and these guys came up, and I thought, yep, I'm going to get myself some of those. They look pretty cool. This one is called Reptile. It's like a sort of cross between a reptile and an eel. And he's got his extra set of teeth in the front, which I'll show you the action for that separately as well. Those little bits there, they quite often get lost. This next guy is some sort of squid or cuttlefish or something, and he's called Killamari. And I really liked his sort of metallic, bright paint job. He's got an interesting action, which I'll show you later as well. Just the way that his arms move is quite interesting. I love that he's got 6 legs as well. It means that he's very stable. He's not going to fall over easily like so many figures do, especially the ones that have only got 2 legs. Anyway, this next guy is called Slobster. Not to be confused with Slobster from Boglins, the soggy lobster. This guy is, yeah, different, smaller and plastic as opposed to rubber, like a hand puppet. You can see here he's got a cool little tail, cool legs, and yeah, those really big claws with a sort of spring-loaded claw, which I'll show you later as well. There are only a couple of humans in the range, I think. This guy is called Radical Benz. He's like a surfer dude. You can see like the position of his fingers on one of his hands is doing that typical surfer pose. And yeah, he's got his special surfboard, and he's got this amazing like helicopter kind of action. I'll just show you it briefly here. You pull this cord up, and then the blades go round. I'll show you that in a bit more detail in a little bit, but you can see, yeah, he's got this really cool backpack with a small propeller on the back. There is another human character called Dr. Pyranoid or Piranoid, depending on how you want to pronounce it, and I will buy him at some point in the future as well. There are at least 2 versions of him that I've seen, so I've got to choose the one that I want for this collection. Right, next we've got one of the vehicles. I wasn't going to buy any of the vehicles, but when I saw that this one's actually quite a nice small size, I thought I would go for it, and especially because I got this on eBay and it cost me £9, which I thought was a complete bargain. When you look at it, it's got a few bits missing, but those little guns on the front are there. This larger gun extends, and that's intact, so that's good. And also, I thought that one of the side guns was missing, but it's not. Just a little flap that goes on this is missing, and then there's a couple of side panels as well that are missing. But this gun is in there, intact as well. And the one on the other side is also intact. So I was pleased with that. I'm not sure what else is missing from it. I think it's just probably the two side panels and the top panel. But overall, the shape of the little tank is really cool. And I just thought that will look good just in amongst all the figures. There is at least one other vehicle that I've seen on eBay, which is like a little car that you can put your sharks in. So they look like they're driving a little car, which also looks pretty cool. So I might look out for that. And if I can find that at a bargain price, I'll get that as well. So before we look at all of their actions, I'll show you all of these guys all together again. I hope you approve of the ones that I've chosen of, each variation for each figure. I like the way they're all looking together in this group, and I think they'll look great in a cabinet together. Right, this is Reptile. Give you a closer look at him. There's something missing from his back that I'll need to get at some point, although he looks all right without it, especially if you display him, so you're looking at the front view of him. So on the side here, you've got buttons, like where his sort of cheeks would be. There are two kind of buttons, and when you squeeze them, his front set of teeth shoots out. It's like spring loaded, which is a really cool feature. But obviously, that anything that's spring loaded, the spring loaded bit tends to kind of ping somewhere and get lost in time. So it's quite cool to find an example with that intact. Sometimes when you do find examples with that, they cost a lot of money. But the person that was selling this one on eBay, I don't think realised that that bit was actually in there, and so I got him at the usual price that you buy him without that. Bargain. Yeah, most of these figures can be picked up for like 10-15 quid each, especially if you're buying them without all their accessories and things. With this one, Kilamari, he's got these two little levers that you squeeze together, and they make his arms move in a really interesting way. It's not a very easy thing to do with a camera in one hand, just doing it with one hand. But anyway, there's also a sort of a pivot joint where his waist is. You can see it sort of rotates around. So when you combine the two actions where you're wiggling his arms and you're also rotating his kind of chest area, it looks pretty cool. Makes him look like he's kind of alive, which I really like that action. Okay, with Slobster, he's got this spring-loaded front claw, which is really nice action. It feels nice and smooth as well. You can imagine kids having a lot of fun with that back in the day. The only thing with Slobster is he's missing his antennae. And what I've noticed is the ones with antennae seem to be quite expensive. But if I can find another one with the antennae at a nice bargain price, I'll get that as well. So this guy has got his drill. This is drilling action slash. And that drill bit quite often is missing. And you just buy him with the kind of three flaps at the front and without the drill. But you can see here you've got a little lever on the back. And the drill action is really good, actually. It's really smooth. Look, when you just wiggle this lever down, push it up and down, the drill really does rotate round nicely. So, yeah, couldn't resist adding him to the collection just because he's a bit unique, that guy. Again, some nice sort of metallic colours on him. And, yeah, amongst the other figures, he just stands out really well. Right, I'll show you the metallic streaks. He's the one with the rollerblades on. And again, like I picked the brightest colour version of him because he does really kind of pop amongst all of the others. So you can see his he rolls really well actually. I know like this is not particularly good because I've got all the gaps in between my wood flooring, but you get the idea. And then on his, ooh, just drop him, on his glove, he's got claws, and there's a little kind of silver rod at the back. And when you push the silver rod in, the claws extend a little bit. Not very much, to be honest. And I'm hoping that my one is, the action is working as it should do. But on mine, you can see the claws come out about that far, and then you push them back in again. So I'm not sure if they're supposed to extend even further than that. But anyway, that's pretty cool that they extend at all. I really like that action. There really aren't that many toy lines from the 90s that I like, but this is one of them. And there's Extreme Dinosaurs as well, which were released, I think, at a similar time. They quite often come up on eBay when you type in Street Sharks, so I think they're quite closely related. I've actually ordered a load of Extreme Dinosaurs as well, and I'll do a separate video on those in the future. Yeah, other 90s figures that I've collected are things like the later Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and also things like Small Soldiers. I think that's a cool toy line as well. Right, this is the Silver Jab Hammerhead. You can see he's got his fin on the back here, and if you push the fin down, again trying to do this with like one hand while I'm operating the camera, but hopefully you can see that when I push the fin down, his mouth opens, so he's pretty rubbery, his body, to allow this action, but it's really cool. Looks really good. You can imagine as a kid going around biting all your friends. Yeah, for this video I just found an old wooden box and a block of wood, and even just positioning them, some on top of the block of wood and some on top of the box, it creates this kind of three main kind of rows of the figures and makes them look really cool. So if you had a little cabinet and you displayed them similar to this but better, it would look really, really good, I think. The colours are just great, and they're just so eye-catching that they go in really well with like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Small Soldiers and all that kind of thing. Right, radical bends. I'm going to attempt to show you this mechanism a little bit smoother. What I noticed earlier is that I had a couple of little knots in the string, so I painstakingly managed to undo those knots, and you can see now it's much smoother when I pull it up. And you can see that the length of string is really quite long, and it's so cool because all you do is just rotate the propeller in the opposite direction, and it pulls the string back down into the pack. It's the sort of thing that you would think would just break really easily or just wouldn't work, but for some reason it seems to work really well. And yeah, that little hook is a really cool kind of addition, because it means you could hang your figure from the ceiling sort of thing, or I'm sure loads of kids would enjoy playing with that little hook just to kind of hook figures up or anything. I remember like having some Meccano when I was a kid, like a sort of a crane type thing I would make, and I'd use the little Meccano hook, and I bought back a Meccano hook because I just remember playing with that so much. It was really good fun. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to buy back the Meccano hook. So here he is, Radical Benz, with his cool little surfer dude image. Trying to get my camera to focus on his face. So yeah, this is Radical Benz. I think you'll agree he's a pretty cool surf dude. You can see his little hand, like I was saying, with his thumb and his little finger kind of extended out in that typical surf dude position. I love the board, the colour of the board, like fluorescent red. You got the information on the bottom there as well. And yeah, the matching propellers. Really cool, really vivid, and really stands out amongst all the other figures. He's even got his little Walkman attached to his shorts. Pretty cool. There's another figure that I've noticed on eBay called Manta Man, which I'm going to try and buy at some point as well, because he just looks like a big manta ray. He's similar looking and reminds me of the Manta figure from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Check out my other 80s and 90s toy videos if you get a chance. Hit subscribe to see anything that I post in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.